Legend War here, and today we're rating a double whopper with cheese Doomstack here. We've got the big beef boys themselves, the Gorgons. So we've got 18 of these bad boys with rank 7 experience. We've got 2 wizards in the army. Not essential to have 2, but I found that it worked really well with them. I'm primarily just going to be using them for buffing and debuffing. Actually, whereas Lord of the Wilds, we don't actually have any buff spells, but we got decent debuff spells that we can do constantly, essentially. Once again, we're going up against Morathi and Malice Darkblade, because as soon as I set these guys to land in Ulth 1, these were the first 2 that attacked me. So they have kind of recovered from their ass-whooping that they received against the Jabberslaths. However, they didn't necessarily recruit as good of an army as what they had then. So there's fewer Blackguard of Naggarond, way more Dread Spears, but I feel like because these guys here are more of an anti-large, anti-single entity weapon, more infantry actually might be more of a problem with them. Anyway, we'll see how they go against this. Auto-resolve does say that they'll have a valiant defeat, so let's just jump into the battle and see how these guys go. So, I'll primarily be comparing these guys to the Jabberslath because they're of the same tier. They perform a very similar role. We'll see how they go. So, based on my estimation from having trained up both armies, and we've already tested out the Jabberslath Doomstack, and I think it did really well, the Jabberslaths seem to be particularly good at getting rid of massive amounts of infantry because of their Aura of Madness. Now, Gorgons are kind of the opposite. They're not great against massive amounts of infantry because they don't have that area of effect damage. What they're good at doing, because they've got such high amounts of damage, and they're not, like their size, they're about the same size as a Jabberslath, right? But their size is more vertical, right? So it's like a whopper with 4 layers, right? Right? Whereas a Jabberslath is like a bit of everything. It's like the ultimate double heart-stopping whopper, right? Where it's just like, it's really like big, but wide, right? So a wide unit will most likely take more damage in melee because it's just got a higher surface area, whereas a vertical unit like a giant or a Gorgon will actually take less damage from melee infantry units, but more damage from missile units because shooting it in the face is a lot easier. Also, their animations, while they do jump around a fair bit, they don't jump around quite as much as Jabberslaths, so their animations will make it easier for them to hit. They do have more health than a Jabberslath. They do regen, but they only regen while in melee, but they regen 8 hit points per second. So these guys going up against a lot of low-tier trash, they can actually end up generating more health than they're losing. Another thing that they're particularly good at doing is killing lords. So what actually might be best is going with a hybrid. Instead of going quadruple whopper with cheese, or the ultimate heart-stopping whopper, maybe combine a bit of both and go half and half, with a, maybe 10 Jabberslaths and 8 Gorgons, and use the Gorgons to take out the single entities. Anyway, let's just see how these Gorgons perform. I'm only going to use the wizards for debuffing, that's about it. Now, if you're wondering why not use a legendary lord for these guys, we could have used Taurox, but I've got a different army plan for Taurox. And pretty much every lord in the game for the Beastmen buffs the Gorgons at about the same rate. God, they're pretty noisy. So I figured the best generic lord would be a Great Bray Shaman of Wild, and I guess I just have a compulsion of putting an additional wizard in every army anyway, because it doesn't hurt to have a bit more magic. So I guess this is the thing. You would take these guys to kill all the single entities, and then Lord of the Wilds is really good against infantry. You just pop down the Traitorkin. If you're just getting bored of them killing spearmen, pop down Traitorkin and just kills off hundreds of them. So it really just speeds up the process quite significantly. Also, you've got the Savage Dominion. You can help that to act as artillery. Anyway, I'm primarily going to be focusing on the Gorgons, and only use these guys in emergencies, and also providing debuffs. Anyway, let's go in. Now, Morathi last time gave us a really hard time. She just would not go down. And while Malice did go down, I didn't quite see how he went down. So these guys also are about the same sort of speed as the Jabberslaths. But their animations are a lot more controllable. Jabberslaths just sort of go all over the place. Alright. Missile resistance 30%, magic resistance 5%. Obviously if we had Morgul, they'd have more magic resistance, but we don't really need it. Alright, let's see how long it takes to get rid of this. Manticore, not very long at all. So their bonus versus large is, I think, yeah, it's 30. So just waiting for Morathi to sit her skinny ass down. Time for her to clog her arteries with some beef. But she didn't want anything of what we've gotten. So yeah, anything that's large just goes down super quick against the Gorgon. Gotta overcast it if we want the area of effect from Devolve. You could also use a Beast Wizard, but since I've been using Beast Wizard in the previous armies, I thought we'd give Wilds a go. So where's Malice? Let's see, where's Malice? Figured he'd come straight for us. But I know he stalks, because he defeated Snitch. So we won't see him until he gets in a bit closer. Not too concerned about the enemy artillery. It's really important we keep these guys together. Their vertical size makes it a lot easier to fight back to back, because when you fight in a tight formation like this, you're causing constant stun lock to pretty much every unit around you. They're just not dishing out damage. So I can even keep in these guys here. Especially if we debuff them as well, so they've got less melee attack. So yeah, we could be using some Devolve to really dish out some damage, but we're here to test out the Gorgon. So far, I think they're performing better than I expected. Alright, there's Malice. Alright, here comes Morathi. I want everybody to focus in on her. And let's clog her veins with beef. Oh, what happened to you? Well, this is going pretty crazy. Must be because Morathi's lowering our leadership. This is what happened against with the Jabberslice as well. They'll rally. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, get rid of the artillery. Where are they? They're over there. Go fight them. Could use this, but like I said, I'm not focusing on our missile attacks. We've still got plenty of health. They're just leadership's just fucking tanking. Alright, let's pull them out of this fight just to reconnect with the general and stuff. Yeah, we just got some really shit leadership going on. We can pull them out fairly easily from the fight. They got huge amounts of mass. I think we need to get rid of Morathi. She's just causing too many leadership problems. Because these guys here don't have bad leadership at all. It's just Morathi's a bitch. God damn it. God damn it. Keep breaking. Should have really focused on the artillery. They're actually doing a lot of damage. Okay, Morathi's almost down. I know Malice Darkblade also reduces our leadership in the local area, so that debuffed us a bit. Okay, come on, back you come. Okay, Marathi's almost down. Come on, one or two more hits. Because she's giving us a lot of debuffs. Hopefully... Okay, no, she's gone there. Alright, we're gonna have to fight Malice. Okay, we got rid of the artillery there. Come back. I wouldn't mind seeing him go full Sarkhan and see how quickly we can actually take him out. But we've got to do enough damage to him that he actually feels the need to do that. Here comes Marathi again. Oh, he's gone full Sarkhan. Okay, we have to deal with him. Yeah. He's gone full Sarkhan there, and Marathi's about to go. One more hit should do it. Sarkhan's going down pretty quickly, just passively. I need everyone to sort of get rid of Marathi. So even with all of that ward save... Actually, Malice doesn't have any ward save this Sarkhan. That's interesting. Yeah, the Gorgons are ripping him to shreds. Okay, I reckon the army losses is about to trigger. And he's down. He went down really quickly. Kind of went down faster than Marathi. But I think the thing is with Marathi in that fight there, they were kind of distracted by all the melee infantry blocking them. But yeah, even though they're not an anti-infantry weapon, they did manage to beat the crap out of all of the stuff here. But yeah, they won't get any regen just sitting here. They have to actually be in melee to get it. But we're about the same amount of damage coming out of this battle as the Jabberslaths. But like I said, this army here wasn't quite as strong. Is that? Look, they've got reinforcements that have come in that haven't shattered. Because these guys came in after the army losses was inflicted. Look. It's a bit of a bug in the game, but we could use these guys here to actually regen a little bit. Because it's not like they're going to do anything against these Gorgons. But yeah, things could have been made a lot easier as well if we had gotten rid of most of their infantry, because Tradekin's really good against them. Really, really good. And we could just constantly keep casting it. Also, it would have been good if we had gotten rid of the artillery. If I had used these a bit more efficiently, and also summoned the stuff, so... Our army could have formed a lot better, but like I said, we're here to test out the Gorgons. Alright. No heroic victory this time, just a close victory. Alright, so let's have a look at Lord skills. We'll just have to wait for our turn. And see about how you can maximize the effectiveness of the Gorgons. There's not really that much, in my opinion, just looking at the various different Lords. None of the Legendary Lords do much apart from Taurox. He just provides them with 10 extra armor, which I just don't value 10 armor that much on a unit like that. It's probably much better to give them melee defense. Because as a big monster, you're going to get hit quite often, so reducing the chance of that hit landing would be very useful, and also providing them with weapon strength, so that when they do go up against lords and single entities, they absolutely annihilate them with every hit. But yeah, with a weapon strength of 800, there's very few units on the game that can go toe-to-toe with a Gorgon and come out alive, especially considering it regen. So I reckon it could probably take out a Necrosphinx, because it's got more health than a Necrosphinx, I think. and it actually regens while fighting. Because Necrosphinx was kind of like the, until now, like the ultimate anti-large killing machine. Also, Necrophexes are bigger than them as well, so that actually makes them kind of weaker in melee. Because they're as big as they are wide. So just gotta wait for this turn to pass. Once again, bloody wounding all my bloody heroes. A lot of the Nagaron's heroes are bloody rank 40, so I can't really do anything about them. Alright, so looking at this. In terms of like the skills, you want to be going down the Freakish Mutation, just gives them 8 extra melee attack and extra 12% weapon strength. Then I went down the Bellows of the Discordant, which gives them 15% extra weapon strength. You could go down here for extra armor, but I would value their killing potential more so than a bit of extra armor. Because if you go up against armor piercing, that's just bypassed, whereas this is just never really bypassed. And then Bestial Butchers over here, giving them missile resistance, melee attack, and weapon strength. But yeah, there aren't really any of the legendary lords providing anything for them. If we have a look back over here with Morgul, the Abstraction of Zinch doesn't do anything for it, so the only thing he would provide is essentially 10% weapon strength for the entire army, or the missile resistance, which that would be very useful. If we have a look at Khazrak, Khazrak doesn't do anything. Khazrak is just the Bestigor guy, so just leave him with that. We'll get to him another day. And then as for Taurox, we're showing Taurox another day, and Malagor is another thing entirely. So I think putting in the Great Bray Shaman, it doesn't really matter which lore of magic you want to attach to him, but I think a Great Bray Shaman is the best one for a Gorgon Doomstack. But having seen how it performs, I think throwing in a few Jabberslyths in here could actually be quite good. They would work quite well in a team, so that could be quite useful. Probably not putting it in Morgul's army, because for every Gorgon you put in here, he's just not really buffing it by that much, and he really gives significant buffs to Jabberslyths. But yeah, overall, I'd probably rate it 8.5 out of 10. It's really good, but, you know, we didn't quite go up against quite as much force as what we did with the Jabberslyth Doomstack. It definitely has some weaknesses. It is very strong, and an 8.5 is a very good score, but I do think the Jabberslyth Doomstack just has an extra edge on it, because you're far more likely in this game to come across mass amounts of infantry than you are going to come across mass amounts of single entities and huge monsters and stuff like that. They're usually going to be at most half of the army. That's at the very most. Only rare occasions where you come across an entire army that's full of monsters, but it does end up happening. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Let me know what you think of the quadruple bacon cheeseburger here, the Gorgon, and appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.